I actually can't see anything today. I think my eyes have just decided to just give up. So the glasses are staying on. Hello. Do you know what? Getting rid of the drink too. Glasses on, drink down. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little TBR video. I'm going to switch it up and do it in a way that I've never actually done before. And I'm also going to be speaking you through the books that I read in April. And I actually can't believe that it's already the start of May. How have we already done 4 months of this year? Where was I for that? I don't think I was present in the last 4 months. It was a fever dream to say the least. I'm debating whether to do the wrap up or the TBR first. Let's do the TBR first. Let's get all excited about the books we're going to be reading in the month of May. So, last month I did the random number generator, picked my TBR off of my TBR cart, and this month I've switched it up again and I'm going to be doing Instagram followers blindly choose my May TBR. So, I put up a few polls this morning, I covered up the books and I put some emojis on there. I did my best to sort of represent what the book was about with the emojis. Some of them are very, very obvious and some of them are a little bit far-fetched. I posted those stories at about 9 AM this morning. It is now 2:30, so they've had a couple of hours to marinate and get everyone's votes in. So let's get on with looking at the TBR. So I'm going to give you the options, tell you everything, and then we're going to check. So the first two options were The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston and Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Both of these have been on my TBR for a good few months now, and it's just one of them situations where I just haven't got to them, or I've wanted to read them so bad but I've put too much pressure on it and I've started it. This book I annotated the first page very, very slightly and I put too much pressure on it and I put it down. I think I had to read something for another video. So both of these ones are very highly anticipated on my TBR because also Check and Mate heard nothing but good things about. For Check and Mate I put a love heart, a chess piece and a little sparkly thing, I don't know. And for The 7-Year Slip I put some flowers, a lemon and some birds because the main character in this is called Clementine, so that's why I put like the lemon kind of thing. Could have put an orange actually. That might have made more sense. I thought the yellow vibe went, and I put birds on it because it had little birds on the front cover. However, I don't think anyone probably would have guessed that by that description. I could have put the number 7. I didn't think this through very much, did I? But the whole idea is to not make it obvious. So the winner of the first poll with 57% majority is The 7-Year Slip, and I am so glad that this book got picked. Not that I don't want to read Check and Mate, but this one, I was more excited to read this one, so I'm very, very glad that you guys chose it. So hopefully, maybe next month we'll read Check and Mate. This next one, I'm also quite excited about. You guys are going to kill me. Oh, if you watched my previous TBR video, I said, do not let me go into May without reading this book, because I'm not excited to read it. It's just one of them situations where it's been on my monthly TBR since February and I haven't got around to it simply because I was reading other things, I was prioritising other things. I got 20 pages into it and then softly DNF'd it for a while and I still haven't picked it back up. But it's by the book by Jasmine Guillory and it's all about a person of colour in publishing and she's our main female character, and I think I'm actually not 100% sure exactly what it's about, but I think it's like workplace vibes. Maybe not, I don't know. Then I have a book that I think I saw Larry recommend ages ago and I put it on my TBR before anyone else sort of like read it, and then I realised that it was the author of Fourth Wing. So I knew about this book before I even knew about Fourth Wing, and the flop is just incredible, but that's In the Likely Event. So for In the Likely Event I put an aeroplane, a sunset and a cloud because that was literally exactly what was on the cover. And for By the Book I put a rose because it had some flowers on it, a book obviously, and a little pink love heart. I'm going to check the poll. We're in trouble. We are in deep, deep, big trouble. The poll is at 50-50. They have got the equal amount of votes. So what do we do in this situation? Actually, I need to check the specific votes. Sometimes Instagram says that it's 50-50 and it actually isn't. Let me have a look. Oh my god, no, we have a winner, guys. I don't know why it still says 50-50. I think the voting is just that close. It's off by 3 votes. So 3 votes difference would have made 4 votes difference would have made a difference in this poll. So our winner is In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yaros, and as I said, it won by 3 votes. This, I can imagine, is probably quite a triggering read because it is about a plane crash, an accident, and it's all about second chances in life and stuff. So this is definitely going to not be the fluffy vibes that we're probably looking for. And I know the 7-Year Slip focuses quite a bit on grief as well and stuff like that. So we're in for a good reading month. Our next two are another two that I'm actually really quite excited about, and I feel like I've said that about everything in this video. I feel like I just say that all the time, but it's the next book in the Natural series. I think this is like the fourth and final one, and then at the back it has the novella 12 within this paperback as well. And our other option is The Most Bizarre True Crime Stories Ever Told. This is just one of them tiny little weenie books that I found when I was just in the works one day, saw it, and I do criminal psychology as a degree, so I'm fascinated about true crime and thought it was just interesting, even if I don't obviously sit and binge it because it is about true crime. Obviously, as it's short stories, I think I might just read like one true crime story a night or two a night and just slowly sort of read this alongside other books. But we need to see which one wins. I kind of am hoping that it's Bad Blood because I love the Natural series. I'm more excited to read this book, and I think I'm going to get to it very, very soon regardless of whether it gets picked or not, but this is the one I'm hoping for. So on these books, for Bad Blood, I put a detective, a graph, and the eyes emoji. And for the true crime book, I put a building. It was supposed to be a prison, but there was no prison emoji or no like criminal looking emoji. So I put the school emoji, which was meant to be a prison, blood, and the, what's it called? Magnifying glass emoji. And then afterwards I realised that I probably should have swapped those emojis round. But anyway, it's fine. But our winner is unfortunately the true crime stories, which I say unfortunately, it's not because I don't want to read this, but it's just that I would probably have rather had Bad Blood win. But this is a short read, definitely one to just tick off the TBR, and it should be quite interesting, so I'll keep you posted. I only did 4 of these polls because I have some other books that I want to read for other videos as well, and obviously I also want to get onto our wrap-up. So our next 2 options are Marriage for One by Ella Mays and Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I read a Lynn Painter book in my last video, which was my new releases vlog, and it was my first Lynn Painter book. Never read a Lynn Painter book before that, and I thoroughly enjoyed the writing and everything, so I'm even more excited to get to this now. This book was actually gifted to me by my friend Charlotte, so thank you very much, Charlotte, again for getting me this book. I'm most excited to read it very soon. I'm not sure which one I'm going to prefer, what one I would rather get picked, because both of them have been on my TBR, not even physically, just mentally, for a very long time. So I think I'd be happy with either of these choices, to be honest. So let's check the polls. So for Better Than the Movies, I put a popcorn emoji, a blue heart to match the font on the front, and obviously like a film director's, what's it called, the thing that goes action. And for Marriage for One, I put obviously an engagement ring, the number 1 on the clock. I thought that was quite confusing. I felt like I was going to mislead some people some places, and the bride emoji. And I actually got a couple of messages about this one saying, is it Bride by Ali Hazelwood? I was like, no, it is not, but now you know, it was Marriage for One the whole time. And our winner for that poll was Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Now, I am so excited to actually get into this. The only thing I'm a little bit scared about this book is that I'm not really a film person. I don't really sit and watch films. I've watched some of like the more, you know, classic 90s rom-coms, and like one of my favourite films ever is like Legally Blonde, Mean Girls, Clueless and stuff like that, like the proper chick flicky films, but I haven't watched too many of them. So I'm scared that if it references films quite a bit, I'm not sure like how I'm going to feel about that and how I'm going to personally do with that. But we will see. Hopefully it's just a cutie little YA romance with hints of films in it. I don't know, maybe it's good. So before we get onto the wrap up, I just want to say how we obviously had our monthly TBR from the number wheel video that we did last month. I only didn't read 3 books from that TBR, which is really, really good. But those were the 3 that I was sort of a little bit more unsure whether I was going to get to anyway, because I kind of want to save Life's Too Short for a vacation holiday that I'm going on. But we will get on with the actual wrap up, because I ended up reading more books than that anyway. I just sort of mood read for a while, but yeah. So we read these books in the month of April. Now there is a video coming where I read the majority of these books. So I don't really want to do a wrap up per se. I don't actually really want to go into the books that I read too much. So what I'm going to do is just show you them. I'm not going to tell you my thoughts. I'm not going to tell you many opinions. I'm literally just going to, I don't even know whether to say what I rated it or not. Is that not a spoiler? Or should I literally just go through the books that I read? I think it's only right. So I started off the month with The Suitcase Kid by Jacqueline Wilson. Now this probably looks like the most bizarre choice I've ever had on a wrap up before. But I just randomly got nostalgic one night. I found my old copy and it was literally one of my favourite books as a kid. Obviously it was a little bit childish and a little bit cringy. but it's a kid's book, so I can't fault it at that. Like, it was great. While I read this, I was also reading Caraval, which you will see in the video where Tinkerbell, my dog, picks my books for a week. Obviously, I can say a little bit more about this because that video has gone up. I actually did quite enjoy this. I knew that I would, but I've heard a lot of people speak about the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy a lot more. So I was a little bit scared to delve into this knowing the expectations that everyone has on the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. But I actually did thoroughly enjoy it. It definitely wasn't my favourite book. I definitely had a couple of little issues with it. And as I said in that vlog actually, that one thing that I really did enjoy was the graphics in the book. And it just has like the most beautiful little graphics and, you know, like letters and all of that cute stuff that make a book just so much better for me. So yeah, I really actually did enjoy that one. I don't have my copy here with me, but then I read Night Shift by Annie Crown, which is a basketball romance kind of Wattpad cutesy little story, and I really actually did quite enjoy that one. It was my first basketball romance, and you've probably heard me say it a million times, basketball's quite present in my life. My fiance's a basketball player, he plays basketball, so you'd think that I'd be obsessed with basketball romances by now, but again, I kind of don't want to read them to put the pressure on it a little bit. The pressure to like them, the pressure for it to be correct, the pressure, I don't know. It's a very quick, easy read, and I feel like it was perfect for me to get into basketball romances. So if you're looking for like a sports romance, not necessarily about hockey, about NFL, I feel like they do dominate the sports romance world, and you want a basketball one or something, definitely recommend that. It was just like the easy, most Wattpad writing in the world, but in a good way. Like, if you just want no brain power, I recommend that book. And that book is also in my Dog Picks My Read, so if you want to see me read that and you haven't, that's where to find that. I then read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez in my Reading New Releases vlog. This did not disappoint me. I was so glad to get back into this world because it does sort of cross over with part of your world and yours truly. And Abby Jimenez did it again. She is simply become one of my favourite authors in the last few months. There's still quite a few of her books that I haven't read yet, which I can't wait to go back and read because I feel privileged that I've joined her fan base late, so that means I can catch up with everything. I love this so much. I then started Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and I read the first, I think it was like 100 and something pages, and then I did take a break from it, but we'll get on that in a minute. But this definitely wasn't, I don't want to say not my favourite by Elsie Silver, because I really did enjoy it. I did think it was a cowboy romance going into it, so if you think it is, it isn't. It's actually just based in the same world as Chestnut Springs, but it's more of like, it's still western, it's very that western vibe, but it is not cowboy romance. I was actually quite pleasantly surprised by this book. It sounds like I'm saying that negatively. I did think I was going to enjoy this. I had high expectations for it, but I knew that there was a child involved, and I know that children in books could be quite controversial, and because she was 12 years old, I was really unsure, because sometimes when they're a child, it's okay, and sometimes when they're an adult, it's okay. But there's that awkward teenager age where they try and make them cringy and relatable, and it just doesn't work. But Elsie actually did it very well. Cora, the 12-year-old, wasn't actually, she was a big part of the story, but not in the way that would take over the story. I then started a reading vlog that will be coming very soon, so I'm not going to say what the vlog is. Actually, if you follow me on Instagram, you're going to know what it is. I did a 24-hour readathon, okay? I did a 24-hour readathon, and I haven't edited it yet because I've been putting it off because there is so much footage. But I started that off by reading the next instalment of the Not So Meet Cute, is it Not So Meet Cute? Improbable Meet Cute series, which is essentially just a series where a load of authors collaborated. I think it's owned by Amazon, and they're literally very short stories about meet cutes. I've spoken about it quite a bit on this channel already. That one I think was about 40 pages long, so it literally took me less than an hour, but you'll see that very soon. I then went on to read Just for the Summer. What? No, I didn't. I've read that. The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy. This is another one that was on my TBR since my birthday last year, and I wanted to pick it up straight after my birthday. It was just like autumn vibes immediately. Just didn't feel like reading that book at this time, but it was a nice day and I felt like it was appropriate to sit and read this book. But no opinions, because you'll see the vlog soon. This is another weird choice of the month, but I read The Diamond Girls by Jacqueline Wilson, my second Jacqueline Wilson book of the month. I just wanted something with no brain power, in the sense that it was easy writing, because this book definitely is one of Jacqueline Wilson's more adult books, so it does focus on the struggles of parenthood, having social class issues and things like that. So it's not necessarily her lightest, fluffiest little kids book, but it was easy writing because it was made for younger people, if that makes sense. But again, not going to say too much, you'll see it in the vlog. I then read this itty bitty cute short story called, I say cute, it wasn't cute. Those People Next Door by Kia Abdullah. This is, I think, a shortened down version of a real life thriller, but they do this thing called quick reads. The reading agency do them, and it was literally sold at my local Waterstones for £1, so I couldn't leave it there. And I read it literally in a matter of, well, just over an hour really, because it's 126 pages long. I then read First Down by Grace Riley in my readathon as well. This was my second sports romance of the month, and it focuses on a football player, and this is one that I'd seen such high expectations of because people love this book. I was about to tell you my opinions, but I'm not going to, because guess what? You'll see the vlog. Once my readathon ended, I did manage to read a little bit more of Wild Love by Elsie Silver in that reading vlog. But then I did later after that finish that off, so I spent a couple of days as well finishing off Wild Love. And then I read the Lynn Painter book that I was telling you about earlier, which was Happily Never After. And I did mention earlier when I was talking about Better Than the Movies how I was pleasantly surprised by it, not because I didn't think that I would like it, but because when you try a new author it can get a little bit daunting, a little bit scary, because you're like, will I like this or not? And I was actually a bit scared to go straight into her new release, because I feel like it's good to start with the popular one. For example, in my opinion, this is probably one of her, probably her most popular book. So I thought, if I'm starting with Happily Never After, I even had to put a story up on my Instagram and say, does this book, Happily Never After, connect with any other book in her universe or in any of her other books? Because I didn't want it to be the case where I read all of the older ones and then regretted reading Happily Never After first. But everyone said, some people said yes, but the majority said no, so I read it anyway. You would have seen in my new release vlog. Really did enjoy it. But that is everything for today's video. I'm just going to quickly go back through the TBR. So obviously we have Better Than the Movies here by Lynn Painter. We have The Most Bizarre True Crime Stories Ever Told. We have In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros. And we have The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. As I said, I will probably read more than this in the month if I have a good month. However, I do have my final ever uni exams, so pressure's high, the amount of reading is low. We will see. I do have some other videos planned where I have specific books for them, but we will go into that video. But that is everything. If you did enjoy today's video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know some other ways that we can pick my TBR for the month. We've done the number wheel, we've done Instagram. I need some more ideas, guys. Maybe some booktubers can pick, or I can do another generator type thing. Not sure. Let me know ways you want me to do it, because there's so many creative ones out there, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Love you guys lots. Bye. That didn't work.